welcome to my online classroom. Today in this video, we are going to discuss the revision of class 10 chapter 1 power sharing, and this is a chapter of political science which is also known as civics. So let's start the revision of this chapter in a quick way. So let's see, first of all, the overview is given. So of course, under this overview, we are going to read that what is the meaning of power sharing, how we are going to follow the pattern of power sharing, how we are going to divide this power among the various organs of the government, just like the legislature, executive and judiciary, and the various levels of the government, just like we have the central government, state government and the local government. After that, also in this chapter, we are going to understand this concept of power sharing through two examples of the two stories of the two countries. Like the first we have Belgium and second we have Sri Lanka. After that, when chapter is going to start, of course, this is the first page where overview is be given. After that, on the next page, the story of Belgium is going to be start, and here under this, the whole story and the actually introduction of Belgium is be given, just like what kind of country it is. So of course, Belgium is a small country in Europe. It has borders with France, the Netherlands, Germany and Luxembourg. And now next we have the ethnic composition. If you are going to see the ethnic composition, so what do you mean by the ethnic composition? The meaning is also given in the book, like here, a social division based on shared culture. People belonging to the same ethnic group believe in their common descent because of similarities of physical type or of culture or both. They need not always have the same religion or nationality. After that, if we are going to see the ethnic composition, so here people belongs to different caste, culture, language and religion, and they're not sharing any collective identity. So ethnic composition of this country, that was very complex because that was totally based on the basis of the language. Out of the, if you are going to see the population, so of course here out of the total population, 59% people live in the Flemish region and speaks Dutch language. Now next we have the other composition which is mentioned here clearly in this para. 40% people live in the Wallonia region and speak French. Remaining those people, those who were live there, here we have the only 1% of the people in the Belgium, they speak German. So according to the language, we have here three language we can see here, like the Dutch language, second we have the French language, and third we have the German language. After that, if we are going to see the capital city, which is the Brussels of the Belgium, so here the composition, the whole whatever ethnic composition we found here related to the language basis, so here it is just opposite of the throughout the whole country. Here just say we can say 59% people they speak Dutch, so here we can see only 20% people were the Dutch speaking, and the rest 80% people they speak French. After that, on the next we are going to discuss about of this, like the Dutch speaking, of course Flemish, they live in the Flemish region and speak their composition was 59%. Next we have the French speaking and they live in the Wallonia region and their composition was 40%. Next one we have the German speaking and they were speaking means German language and 1%. Their composition was only 1%. In Brussels, there were mixed people, those who speak different languages, like the French speaking 80% and Dutch speaking 20%. Next here, case of Sri Lanka is be given, that in Sri Lanka also ethnic composition was be there, and here it is be mentioned related to the ethnic composition. Here also the ethnic composition is based on the language. So it is related to the Sinhala speakers, like we have 74% and they were in majority. Majority here we can know through the strength of the people. So Sinhala speakers were there 74% and Tamil speakers we have there 18%. Among the Tamils also there is a division. Under the Tamils there are two parts. First is Indian Tamils and second is the native Tamils. So here it is mentioned that Indian Tamils 13, we have the Indian Tamils 5% and native Tamils 13%. So in this way the whole composition, the ethnic composition is be described here, and what religion they follow, like the Hindus, Muslims and the Christianity. Hinduism, Islam and Christianity they followed. So different religion people live together there in this country, but then the power is not shared. So of course they were facing a lot of problems. So related to that, the concept of power sharing, the whole chapter is based on this. Next we have the majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. So this is the after when Sri Lanka got its independence in 1948. After that, the Sinhala community leaders, those who were in majority, they adopted a majoritarian measures to establish Sinhala supremacy in the Sri Lanka. According to that, they passed one act in the 1956. This act is known as in 1956, an act was passed to recognize Sinhala as the only official language. So here, by passing this act, they were used some measures. Like first point was that Sinhala is going to become the official language of the country, and thus they disregarding the Tamil language. Second is the government followed preferential policies that favor Sinhala applicants for university positions and government jobs. In all various universities and in the government jobs also, for the Sinhala speakers, some posts must be reserved. So it is a kind of reservation, and it's really beneficial for the Sinhala community, the majority of the people, but it is harmful and it creates a problem of discrimination among the people, those who belong to the Tamil language. A new constitution stipulated that the state shall protect and foster Buddhism. Even according to this, they passed one more law that they are going to promote Buddhism religion, because most of the Sinhala, they were following the Buddhism. After that, we have to be discussed how the Tamils, they were facing a lot of problem and the discrimination. Their feeling of alienation was spread among the Sri Lankan Tamils. Now next in this page we are going to read about the Sri Lankan Tamil struggles. So Sri Lankan Tamils launched parties and struggles for the recognition of Tamil as an official language. Just like the Sinhala become the official language, so in the same way that the Sri Lankan Tamils also want that their language will also going to be recognized as the official language of this country, or as well as the regional autonomy they want. So three demands they were presented in front of the Sinhala speakers. Just like first, they want Tamil should be become as an official language. Second, they want regional autonomy where only Tamil people they will live and they are going to make their own government. Next, they want equality of opportunity in securing education and jobs. Like just like Sinhala people, they are getting reservation in the education field and in the jobs. So same they want for themselves also. After that, but their demand for all these demands were not being accepted. These all demands were denied. Because of that, their main demand that was they want a Tamil alum. When these all demands were not be fulfilled, so after that they had demanded that they want an independent Tamil alum, which is known as the state. All the Tamil speakers, all the Sri Lanka Tamils, they want their separate nation, separate part, separate state, which is they want in which area of Sri Lanka they want this. They want in the northern and eastern parts of the Sri Lanka. So because of this, then the power is not be shared equally. So of course, a lot of conflicts is going to be raised. Because of that, it soon turned into a civil war between of the Sri Lankan Tamils and the Sinhala speakers. Next, we have the accommodation in Belgium. How the Belgium, in the Belgium, the power was shared, and how the Belgium, in Belgium, there was no any problem or like civil war. How they sort out this problem, how they have divided the power, that's the whole content we are going to read under this heading. As here it is mentioned, like if we are going to see the constitution, so of course the Belgian constitution was amended 4 times between the 1970 and 1993. After that, they have presented one Belgian model. The Belgian constitution presented a Belgian model. According to that, some important points have been mentioned here, which is very important for exam purpose. Like first point is here, Constitution prescribes that the number of Dutch and French-speaking ministers shall be equal in the central government. Some special, so here, what they were done, that they made one government, which is the main government of the state, of the place, that is the central government, which we've also known as the union government. So in the central government, there were the equal representatives from both the Dutch and the French communities. After the second, we have the many powers. Second government was formed in the Belgium, which is the state government, and the state government is not the subordinate of the central government. And this state government is having the equal power just like the central government have. Third, in the Brussels, for the Brussels, because it is the capital city of the Belgium, so for the Brussels also, there were also the competition was there, which is ethnic composition was there, which is based on the language like the French and the Dutch. So related to that also, for Brussels, they made a separate government just like the central government, especially central government. For the Brussels, in the Brussels, 2 types of government they have formed, like the central government as well as the state government. And there also, they have given the equal representation to both the communities of the French and the Dutch speakers. As part of this, all this 1, 2, like central, first one, second state government, Third government was also be there, which is known as the community government, and this government is elected by people belonging to one language community, just like Dutch, French, and German speaking, and it doesn't matter, no matter where they live. After that, on the next page, here it is be given why power sharing is desirable. So we are going to read this heading. I have made one video in which I have given the flowchart of this chapter that you can watch if you have not watched it. So there also it was be mentioned. So prudential reason, first to the power sharing is desirable. Of course it is desirable, and it is divided into two parts. First is the prudential reason, and second we have the moral reason. So under this prudential reason it is written here that what is its importance, why we have to follow prudential reason, why we have to follow the moral reason. After that, here it is been mentioned various forms of power sharing throughout the world. If you are going to check, if you are going to see in different countries, so in different countries adopted different forms of power sharing. So according to that, we have different forms of power sharing. There are total 4 types of power sharing which government or which different countries follows in their different places. So we have here according to that, like first is power is going to be shared horizontally, and it is also known as this when we are going to share the power among the different organs of the government. So first we have to know what are the different organs of the government. It is mentioned here like the legislature, executive, and judiciary. They are the main organs of the government, and this is known as the horizontal power sharing also. One more questions are coming that explain horizontal power sharing. So by different names this question will be come in exam. So of course we have to remember the horizontal distribution of power. It means when we are going to divide the power among the various organs of the government. One more important question is coming from this paragraph. What do you mean by check and balance system? So check and balance system, it is a system which we follow under this horizontal power sharing. Next we have the second type of power sharing concept which we have here. We are going to divide the power among the various levels of the government, just like the central government, which is also known as union government, state government, and the local government. So whenever any power is going to divide it among the various level of the government, so it is known as the vertical power sharing. So another name is vertical power sharing. So it is very important that we very well know that central government is more powerful in comparison of the state and the local government, and state government is the subordinate in India. State government is the subordinate of the central government. Third type of power sharing, it is mentioned here when we are going to share the power among the various social groups, such as we very well know social groups in our country also that are made on the basis of religion and the languages. So just like the community government we have in the Belgium. So it is a very good example to understand this concept. Just like we very well know, for socially weaker sections we have made different groups for the women. So it is we can say that social groups are being based on the religion, gender, and the language basis also. Four type of power sharing which we have here. It is like when we are going to share power among the various political parties and the pressure groups and different movements. So in this way we can say, just like here all the lines have been mentioned, which I am going to be explaining you at the time of full explanation of this chapter line to line and important word meanings. So wait for that video, and please comment me if you want to watch that video. So it is the whole revision of this full chapter which I have explained para to para, and I also tell you here that from which para which kind of question will be come. So this is over, the revision is over. So now thank you everyone, and please like, share and subscribe my channel.